how can I tell you? It's too complicated to be dealt with in that way. It would be worthless for me to try and say why I did it. I don't even know why I did it myself, but I was trying to prove. I guess I have an answer for you. I was trying to prove that you don't, if you are faced with a military and you don't have a military, you don't have to do what you're told.
What kind of a feeling did you have when you were on top of the ground? Knowing that everybody was watching you?
I wasn't concerned with how people were feeling. I had no notion what they were feeling. I didn't care.
Just hang on, it's too loud with the bells.
Doing research on Gandhian action, and I was getting myself arrested to find out how you manipulated the police and how you manipulated the community. And the proposition is that political so-called nonviolence, I call it vulnerable aggression, and you're trying to manipulate the court into offending your support. And so you do the thing that you think ought to be done, and then you take the consequences. Well, if they pick you up, put you in jail, they give you an audience, they give you a platform, and you don't have to say anything. When you do it the second time, if the community is with you, the judge will be in trouble, and he'll have to put you in jail for breaking the promise. But he can't punish you to any, as time goes on, as the community becomes involved in what you're doing. The judge has to listen to the community, and he knows that you're getting better and better, and your community is. So when he can punish you fairly, the regular thing, the first time.
John, you're an American, right?
I am an American. I was born in Canada, but I am an American.
Yeah. How did the Berlin Wall got into your focus?
I was doing a invasion in Boston. An invasion of, and because I would pass out leaflets in places where it wasn't wanted for you to pass out leaflets, and they were putting me in jail, but they couldn't keep me in jail because they didn't want to draw attention to me. And my effort was to draw attention, and they knew to draw attention. And a friend of mine said, "Well, why do you work this? Why don't you buy a ticket and go to Berlin?" I was talking about. I was trying to get out of the country without a passport. See, because this is a way you could impinge on this line that is drawn in the United States. This line is drawn in the United States, not between a border and an enemy border, but between Americans and Americans. And so I was trying to break this down and point out that this was happening. And a friend said, and I was, my purpose for going to, proposed purpose for going to Germany was to take a brick from the Berlin Wall. This was what I was advertising. I'm going to go to Germany and take a brick from the Berlin Wall, and go in and try to get into, with the money, but with no passport, and try to get on a plane. And I couldn't do it, and my friend said, well, why don't you buy a passport and go to Berlin and do your bit. And I thought, well, if I buy a passport, why, I can send the passport to a columnist in Seattle, and I won't have a passport, and there I'll be vulnerable to arrest, which is what vulnerable challenge is all about. You're trying to embarrass the community into accepting the thing that you want to do. So I go and I break the wall, okay? And they have to do something about it, so they take you to jail and you put you in jail. As soon as you get in jail, you got a platform. And so the second time, why they are in trouble, because they say, well, we'll let you out if you will give a promise. And say, no, I'm not going to promise. And I've had in Seattle, I was campaigning against the fact that supermarkets could keep everybody out from the shoppers, or not the shoppers, but the people that wanted to do political activity on where the shoppers congregate. Now, this was something that was a right or assumed all through history. You went to the bazaar or everything if you wanted to say your piece. Yeah. And here the shopping malls were drawing a line around that precluded people expressing their civil rights. And at one time, I had 3 years and $1,000 fine for invading the shopping center in Seattle.
But John, when you came to Berlin and you first saw the wall, what did you think?
When I saw the wall?
Yeah, first you saw the wall, what did you think?
I don't know. I wasn't. I looked at the wall and I was surveying it as to what I could do to impinge upon it, and I can't. The question doesn't impinge on the situation. I went to the wall and I talked to people about it, and then I had promised that I was going to go over the wall. I was going to go over the wall. And the first thing I was going to do was pee on the wall. And I was inviting everybody to join me in peeing on the wall. And in my promotion pamphlet, I told the conditions that I was going to pee on the wall. Well, when the situation came, and I was out there trying to pee on the wall, my thing wouldn't do anything. And so I was kind of embarrassed, and the East Germans were ganging up, the East German soldiers. I could see a kind of a platoon getting ready, and they came through the wall like a overturned hive, and picked me up and took me back into West Berlin. And so that was the end of that session. Americans got a big fun out of it. Uh, anyway, the next thing I was going to go over the wall. And I did. I got a ladder, bought a ladder, and threw it up against the wall. I could see I had it worked out that there would be about a few minutes that they'd be able to see me from the tower when I put the ladder up to the wall. And so there was some people standing on this platform looking into and I climbed up through the ladder against the wall, and there was a couple of people up there, and one grabbed his camera and was clicking away like a sewing machine, and I threw my leg over and flipped over the ladder. And I had been committed myself the fall before that I was going to do this. And over the years in bed, I'd squirm back and forth thinking that the day would come when I'd have to do this dreadful thing. And so I got up on top of the wall, it's thrown over, the ladder's thrown over. And this, the tower, 3 men came up, came running out, and they had submachine guns. And one stopped there, and the other 2 came running, and they're just young punks. They came running to the wall, and I had a great feeling of euphoria, because here they were coming from the wall. Although they had machine guns, they couldn't use them on a individual like me without asking permission from somebody. I had been in the army, and I knew that you didn't shoot without permission. And so here I was done. I had done the thing, and as I said, I had a good feeling of euphoria for having accomplished this after all this time. And so that was I gave myself up, and they had quite a people who were handling me had quite a good time while they're making up the story that they're going to tell their wives who went home and had intercepted this person going over the wall. Well, anyway, there was no great. I was interrogated by a nice young man, and he asked me, well, isn't there someplace else that you could do this kind of work? What about at home? And so I explained to him about my many arrests that I had in the United States. so he wasn't very impressed. He wasn't very impressed.